You are listening to the Estheticians Earning More podcast with Brittany Hageman, episode 119. Welcome to the Estheticians Earning More podcast. On this podcast, we talk about how to love your esthetician business without the hustle, exhaustion, or overwhelm as it booms into a successful business. I teach simple ways how to approach your business that gives you your life back while still growing a profitable business. I grew BLH Beauty in San Diego to a six-figure business, and I learned a lot along the way, which I'm excited to share with you here. So let's get started. Do you want to make $100,000 revenue in your esthetician business? If so, I would love to show you how. I want to invite you to coach with me in my one-to-one coaching program. It's completely customizable. The way that it works is we sit down and figure out what you've been doing in your business that hasn't been working, and then make a very specific plan that I help you follow over the course of 6 months to get it done. We meet weekly for 30 minutes and discuss exactly what went well that week and we're going to do next week, whether it's your pricing needs to be raised, or you need to have boundaries with your clients, or if you need to learn how to sell skincare, or you need to niche down and you're doing way too many services and not making money, or all of the above. Whatever the issue is, whatever the reason is you're not making money, we'll figure it out together and we will grow your business into a really profitable business that's sustainable, that you love, and that really helps people. I cannot wait to be your coach and to work with you. To learn more, go to the link in the show notes. And with that, on with today's episode. Hello, happy Monday. Welcome back. How are you? I'm excited to be back today with today's episode because it's something that comes up a lot in my DMs or with clients or former clients who will message me like, Brittany, I don't know what to do. What do I do in this situation? Because I teach boundaries, because it's something that I find to be so important for not only your business health, but for your own personal mental health and well-being. Sometimes I think people can take that a little bit too far, a little bit too serious in ways that aren't serving them. And so today I want to talk about when to throw away your boundaries and give them what they want. Before I go into that, I do want to tell you the only reason I recommend doing this is because if it's going to make your life easier in the short term, not in the long term. So that's why with boundaries, I recommend setting boundaries with clients where there's these long-term issues that just can't continue. And a boundary that I will throw away is if in this moment it's complete chaos, this interaction I'm having with this person is wild. It kind of takes me back to my Target days where people were absolutely insane sometimes. And of course, I would try to do anything I could to get them to leave the store, whether that means give them what they want or call security. But I wasn't going to, I'm not gatekeeping here. I'm not like, I can do your return, but I'm just going to see how long I can make you work for it, right? Same goes with this. Now, if you give someone what they want and it is completely against a boundary of yours and it is escalated to the point that you're like, okay, here you go. Here's your money back. Here's whatever. I'm going to recommend that person is no longer a client. I would think there are very few situations that person can continue to be a client if you are going against your policies, boundaries, whatever, to essentially make them happy, but then they also just can't come back. Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples of what that looks like and how to handle it, because there's two parts of handling this: actually having the conversation with your client and then also taking care of yourself. Don't skip on the part of taking care of yourself. That is so important, because in situations like this, if you are dealing with a person who I'm going to say is crazy, we all know calling people crazy, I don't think is actually very kind or necessarily an accurate description, but it just kind of helps you understand the whole process. Maybe they're not crazy. Maybe they're just having a bad day and whatever. But when you're dealing with a really emotional person who has expectations that are completely outrageous to you, you have a few choices, right? You can either just tell them no, and hopefully they'll go away, or you can tell them yes, and then hopefully they'll go away. But then you have to ensure that they actually go away. And that can mean different things. Okay. So if a person is really out of line, they say things to you that are cruel and mean, like they're insulting you, insulting your business, insulting the way that you look, insulting other clients. If it's something that, like, it's a conduct thing, right? Like if they were an employee at a restaurant or a store or a business and they spoke that way to someone, they probably would get written up, right? It's unacceptable conduct. I haven't actually had that happen to me in person that I can remember as an esthetician. I've had it a little bit over email. People kind of will send some snarky emails, but not the in-person. And I recognize that the in-person is 1,000 million times harder than a text or an email or whatever. It's so hard to have someone say something really horrible to your face and respond in a professional way. So in those moments, I go back to my training at Target again, because it was very formative for how I handle these situations. And it's, what can I give you to make you go away? Give you your money back? Not charge you for whatever. They signed up for a package of something and now they're saying they don't want to do it. It's fine. You do not have to pay another payment. I'll even give you your money back. If they're flipping out on me, again, whether it's in person or whatever, the money is not worth it to me. Okay? The money, the $600 or $500 or $30 or whatever is not worth keeping this person in my life. Even if giving them that money back is actually painful from a financial standpoint, like you don't know how you're going to pay your bills, I promise you again, do not fight them on this, because only bad is going to come from it. Especially as a small business, you don't have the ability to call security like I did at Target to have someone physically removed from the store. And I only did that was like if I would like give them what they wanted and they're just like screaming at me, then I'd be like, they have to leave. They can never come back, whatever. But doing that was like really not a great idea. Or it was like a very hard thing because yes, they were like not allowed in the store, but then I'd have to remember what they looked like and security would have to remember what they looked like so that if they came in the store, they'd be escorted in. It's not like, it's not like the Secret Service, right? Where they're going to be like, oh, I see this person coming in the store who yelled at so-and-so the other day. I'm going to remove them before they even get in the store. People just can walk in that store, right? So yes, we could have people removed for security, but it didn't like create any kind of level of safety, in my opinion. So if someone's crazy, you want them to go away as fast as possible. If someone's coming to you and it's like, I spent whatever money on products and I came for whatever appointments and this doesn't work and this is terrible and you're horrible and you don't know anything and I'm going to go see so-and-so or go to the doctor or whatever thing that they say they need to go do. I'm just instantly I'm genuinely sorry it didn't work out for you. Here's your money back and I wish you the best of luck. Like that. Those are the three things that I do. Like, sorry it didn't work the way you were expecting it to or hoping it would or whatever. Here's your money back, and I wish you the best of luck. You cannot come back, right? I'm not saying that specifically in that scenario, but I am making it very clear that I'm not leaving that door open. If your booking software allows it, prevent them from booking. If it doesn't, and they try to get on your books again, you can just cancel the appointment and send them a message and say something along the lines of, thanks for reaching out and booking with me again. Unfortunately, I don't feel like we're a good fit. Here are the people I recommend. Even if you don't recommend people, just Google people in your area and say, I really, truly wish you the best of luck. And just have that hard boundary now. When I
was leaving, when I first became an esthetician, I worked for a woman, and I was a contractor. I wasn't an employee, even though I was treated like an employee, totally against the law. And when my final weeks there, some woman scheduled an appointment so that she thought on days that we weren't open, no one was there. And she went to the salon suites, and she was like screaming for me, apparently like pounding on the door of the suite, even though like no one was there. Like I wasn't there. The owner wasn't there. There's other people in the building doing their services, and she's like screaming for me to open the door, apparently. And I remember the owner texted me, and she's like, "Can you go down and deal with it?" And I'm like, "I'm not an employee. A. So no, I'm not getting paid to go down there. And B, I'm not the owner. I'm not dealing with these things, right? If I was the owner, honestly, and the salon suites did that, I would just be like, call the police. I would not go down and deal with that. I also just want to implore you that you can ask, coworkers that are nearby to always come by. Make sure you know where people are around you, that if you need help, you can get it if someone's ever crazy, right? But again, to de-escalate the situation, be very calm. Do not defend yourself. It may feel like you have to say, well, the reason it didn't work for you is because you missed 3 appointments and you didn't buy the full skincare routine like I told you to. And of course, it's not going to work. And of course, your skin feels horrible. And, if you go to the dermatologist, they're going to put you in Accutane, which is going to whatever. It's very easy. You want to defend yourself. That will not de-escalate the situation. Just give them what they want, their money back, calm, close, done. Right? We're not engaging in details. We're not trying to save the sale. We're not pulling out our policy and be like, well, per my policy, you agreed that you were going to do X, Y, and Z, and you haven't. If someone's just being that way with me, and it's just that hell-bent on being right that it didn't work for them, I'm not here to argue with them. I don't want the money that bad. I would rather previously do more makeup when I was doing makeup and had my business at the same time. I'd rather get another job, get a part-time job somewhere, anything else than try to nickel and dime this person and pull up contracts and things like that. I'm not going to take anyone to small claims court, right? I'm not going to hold anyone to this contract, whether it's legal or not. I just want them to go away. They just can't come back. I do want to talk about an example of when I had this client. I talked about this client in different episodes because I learned so much from this client, even though it was such an emotionally difficult experience, because I had this acne client who I did genuinely like, and I liked her a lot. She was funny and interesting to talk to, and I don't know, looking back, if it was, I know she didn't follow the lifestyle and diet things. I think she followed the routine. It just wasn't a good fit for her. She didn't want it that bad. She had very mild acne. So, I a couple times would gently remind her, because she would tell me she was frustrated of the things that she needed to do differently. And it was, every time it kind of got a little bit more awkward and a little bit more tense. And that wasn't new to me. I'd experienced that with other clients, but this client, it didn't get better. It wasn't the awkward conversations kind of turned into her, okay, I'm going to try it out. It was she was pretty certain it wasn't going to work for her. And she always came to her appointments on the dot, always on time or early. And she would always reserve way out and book way out because she wanted an after work appointment, which I was still doing at the time. And she no-showed me. And I texted her and I called her, nothing. And I don't think I heard from her for 24 hours. And the thing that was so bizarre is her friend was also my client, one of her best friends. And I saw her best friend the next day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think something's happened to her. I haven't heard from her. And she was like, no, I saw her this morning or whatever. And that was really painful for me, because I thought we were esthetician and client friends. I didn't think we were going to hang out outside of my work, but it felt like what happened that she just no-showed me? And I clearly, I texted her before from this number. This didn't make any sense. And then she got back to me like a full 24 hours later and was like, oh, sorry, something, something. I definitely charged her. And then she did it again. She did it again for her next appointment. I had even messaged her previously and being like, hey, I really want to make sure you're coming. It's not sustainable for my business, la, 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 la. She's like, yeah, I'm coming. Didn't show up again. And I do think it was out of spite, right? Like twice in a row, not showing up after being a very loyal client. And so at that point, I sent her an email basically saying, hey, I'm going to need you to agree to fully pay for appointments before you come in. And if you no show again, you can't come back. It wasn't that direct, but that was the general gist of the email. And she wrote back saying she wasn't, some excuse about she couldn't sign it right now, but she'd sign it in a few days and get it back to me. And I never heard from her again. So this is fine. It was great. So I even told her I was canceling all of her appointments until I heard back from her. So that was that. But if she had come to me and said, well, you know what? I want my money back for whatever, whatever it was, I would have just given it to her. I know. I would have given it to her to make her go away so she never caused me to lose money, because those after work times are valuable, right? Those always would book. If she even canceled late, I would have gotten it booked by the afternoon. But at 6:00, no one's coming in for a 45-minute appointment. By the time they could come down there, it's the next person's appointment. I'm going home, right? And so, but I just did not want her as a client at all anymore. And even though my feelings were definitely hurt, it wasn't because my feelings were hurt. It was because she showed me she did not care anymore. And she was not going to make her appointment. She was not going to do anything to help my business. She wasn't going to keep coming back. She wasn't going to refer me to people. It was the relationship as we knew it was over, right? So just give her money and make her go away. I have done that a number of times. I can't honestly think of many off the bat where I have given them their money back. I think probably because I blacked them out in my brain. I think it's a defense mechanism where you forget things. But I definitely have. I've had a handful of times I know where I've refunded products. I've refunded a service. And it always stings. It always really hurts. But it can sting. But it's okay to do it anyways. Here's my last thought on this is it's okay if someone requests a refund or you just throw money at the situation and make them leave and it just stings. It hurts so freaking much. It really does. It hurts my heart when I think about those situations. I can feel it again in my body. It's okay that happens because you're a human being. Any business person will probably tell you that they have those feelings, even if they're really good at this. I think I'm pretty good at this and it still hurts because I'm a person and that's okay. So I just want to normalize that. It's okay to want to go home and lay on the couch afterwards or just be mad, and sad and angry and frustrated. All those things are fine. You're not doing anything wrong as a business owner because it's really upsetting. It is upsetting. That was an upsetting situation for me. Another upsetting situation I had a client who I was seeing forever who was kind of grandfathered in before I started making everyone use products. So I never made her use products. And then she came in and she got a peel and she knew the drill. I've been giving her peels for a long time. And then she did something to her skin and was really mad at me. She put something on it after I gave her a peel and was really mad at me. And I was just listen, if you're not going to use the home care, I'm not responsible for what happens after you leave my treatment room. I was really direct with her because I knew her for so long and I had tried to get her to use skincare for over a year, maybe even 2 at that point, because I'd seen her before I went out on my own. And I was okay with losing her as a client as well because I didn't jive with her as a personality, in the personality way either. So I also want to just even if you do everything right, and I'm not saying I've always done everything right with every client, but even if you do, it's still okay to be it's not working with this person and just let them go. I know the money thing is hard, but I just really want to normalize. It's the same thing as breaking up with friends. It's or breaking up in a romantic relationship. Even if it seems like it's really good, a good idea, it may just not. And maybe this client has a lot of money and has been a really good tipper, but they're always late. Maybe they buy the products you always recommend, but then they go and they use crazy things on their face and they're sending you 1,000 pictures and you're just like, I can't anymore. And then they're mad at you because, whatever happened to their face. And they're like, you gave me this and it ruined my face. And that's not what happened. That whatever they bought at Sephora and, it's like, okay, no problem. I'm going to refund your money. I'm going to refund it. I totally get it didn't work for you. I think what you're looking for is not what I offer. Here's what I recommend instead, other people. Again, I'm refunding their money, but I'm not taking it back. The only time I've ever refunded products and kept them on was when they had this actual allergic reaction to a product. It's only happened, I think, twice to me. And I contacted the companies that I bought the product from and they gave me the product back and it was like not a big deal. But that was like an actual, I could see as like hive kind of reaction and I did trust them and it was just kind of like a one-off product and they were very loyal and did everything else fine. But if someone's like freaking out on me about a product that I sold them, that person's not my person. That there's a disconnect here. Even if they're using all the products right, even if they're not going to Sephora or buying something random on the internet, I don't want a person who's freaking out sending me messages. So if they're freaking out sending me messages and I'm like, yeah, this is what happens when you put a glycolic peel on top of what we did and I told you not to do any of these things. And they're like, well, I want my money back. Fine, here you go. No problem. I wouldn't say fine, here you go. I'd say, yes, I am happy to do that. I wish you the best. You cannot come back. AKA, you cannot come back. It feels in the moment sometimes really disheartening because you're like, was it me? Have you ever done that? Like, have you ever had a breakup before? Like, was it me? What did I do wrong? I don't know. Maybe there's things you could have done differently, but I'm going to guess. If I had to guess, you didn't do anything wrong. Maybe they even didn't do anything wrong. Maybe not. It just wasn't the right fit. And it is good business, I think, to give people what they want to make them go away. I hope this gave you a hug. I know some of you definitely needed this episode. It feels kind of confusing sometimes with boundaries. I hope this gave you a little bit of clarity. If you want clarity on boundaries, my books are now open for one-to-one clients. Currently, I am taking just like single one-on-one appointments, kind of like an hour where we can just deep dive into anything or whatever topics you want in your business. I do have a coaching program that I'm going to be launching to the greater public soon. That is only actually for former clients. I'm still trying to figure out parts of it, and former clients kind of already get how we do things around here, so they don't need as much help at the beginning. But if you do want to talk to me and you are not a former client, go to the link in my show notes. Let's go. Let's have an hour talk. Let's talk about whatever you need help in your business, boundaries, whatever. I'm here for you. Can't wait to talk to you. I'll talk to you next week. Have a fantastic week. Bye for now.
Hey, if you like this podcast, please rate and review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. I cannot tell you how much that helps my podcast grow. So you can click 5 stars if you like it and you want to give me 5 stars. And please leave a review about telling me why you like it so that I can help other estheticians grow their business. Thank you so much.